Hey everybody, welcome to Sisters at the Cinema. I'm Amanda,
And I'm Valerie.
and today we are rounding out our horror movies for the month of October,
Yep.
and we are talking about The Blackening.
Ooh.
My kind of scary movie.
Mine too. The jokes, okay?
hmm I think this might be a little bit of a long episode, so let's go ahead and dive into this IMDb synopsis. We have 7 friends who go away for the weekend and end up trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. Will their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies help them stay alive? Probably not. Let's get into it.
You want to do the cast?
Thank you. Let's not forget our wonderful cast. We have Grace Byers, who we know from Empire.
Who? Oh, yeah. I just don't know her name. Okay.
Yes. We have Jermaine Fowler, who we know from Coming to America 2, or Coming the Number 2 America. We have Melvin Gregg as King. I don't know him from anything.
Me either.
We have X Mayo as Shanika. I also don't know her.
No. A lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces, but a stellar cast.
Yeah, they're
for
great.
Sure.
Everybody's great.
Yes. Dwayne Perkins as Dwayne, who's probably one of my favorite characters in the whole movie. And then Antoinette Robertson as Lisa, another new face. And then Sinqua Walls. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he played Namdi.
Okay.
And I know him, I believe, from Power. The original Power.
He was on that good old Soul Train show that they canceled on me. He played Don Cornelius. Awesome.
Oh. Yeah, he was on Power back in 2014 and 15. I think he played 50 Cent's son.
See, I didn't watch the first season.
I know.
Of Power. Yeah.
And I loved it. I haven't watched any of the new ones.
Yeah.
And then we have Jay Farrow and Yvonne Orji. We all know and love them.
Yep.
As well as Dietrich Bader, who is one of the only white characters in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He plays the ranger.
Yeah.
I love him. And a couple other guys that Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. All right, you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it. So the movie starts off with like a caption across the screen that says based on true events that never happened. And so the opening, it starts with a woman in a cabin. Looks like it's probably, a rental because she turned down a photo of some family that's there and puts up her own photo. And so a door opens and she's spooked, but she goes to see who's there. And someone puts their hand on her shoulder and she jumps, screams, and accidentally hits him in the face. But it turns out to be her boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah. So she tells him he needs to announce himself because they're all alone. Right. Don't scare me, okay? Somebody gonna get hurt like he did. But he says he wants to show her something. And as they're walking, the camera pans out and you see somebody outside watching them. So they go to this game room and there's a board game in there called The Blackening.
But wait, when they walk up to the door, isn't the door closed? And he says, I know I left this game room door open.
I don't recall that, but you could be right.
That's what I wrote down.
Okay.
And I also noticed that she didn't tell him that door just opened on its own.
The game room door?
No, before when she was just in the other room.
Oh. Okay, I got you.
She didn't tell him, hey, that door opened on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they doing stuff that's out of character.
Right.
Okay, so where were we?
They find the game.
So they find the game, and the game has like a Sambo face. I thought we were talking about Sambo face in the middle, like black face, And they talk about, they're giving this one a bad review. He takes a picture of it for some evidence. Well, she wants to play. And he's like, I can't get you to play spades, but you want to play a game with a Sambo figurine? And so the game talks.
Game starts talking.
Okay. It says pick a card. And see, that's enough for me. Anyway. And he says it works. He said it probably runs on racism. So she pulls a card and it says, you are a black character in a horror movie. Prove that you can stay alive. Name one black character that survived a horror movie. You must answer correctly or you die. I don't like them odds. 50-50.
We don't hardly watch scary movies.
Right. So I gotta give you, and now I gotta give you the character name, not even the celebrity name or the actor name. I might be able to give you an actor, but their character? Yeah. So she takes out the game pieces, and one of them looks just like her earring. The game says, time's up. You did not answer correctly. And they're like, how does it know we got it wrong? It said, oh, wait. And the boyfriend is like, are you watching us?
So the boyfriend did give an answer.
Correct. Well, did he give an official answer or was he just talking?
I think he was just talking, but...
Okay.
He did give some kind of an answer. She
true.
Was like, that ain't right. They died in the very first scene of
Dying.
the movie.
Which movie was it? Scream?
Scream
2. It was
2.
Scream. You're right. Yeah, they were talking about Scream 2. And because they mentioned Jada Pinkett and
Omar Epps.
Right. So I didn't know if that was the official answer. I can't remember now. Or did it give him a chance to say something else?
I don't think it was the official answer necessarily, but while they were discussing it, she said, I didn't think they had enough budget to keep them for the whole movie.
Right. That's why they got killed off.
And she gave him a look because
them two.
They're the two characters that wouldn't be in the budget enough to finish the whole movie.
That went right over my head.
Oh, I thought that was brilliant.
Thanks for sharing. Look, see, you saw something I totally missed.
I had to throw that out there. That was good. They looked at each other like, yeah, that's us too. Like, uh-oh.
So after they get the answer wrong, the game says it's time to die. And the lights go off and the door closes. So it's so dark in there, they can't see each other. But she manages to find her phone and turn on the light, and he gets hit. I don't know what it is. So it seemed like he fell to the ground, but then they look at him, and he got an arrow in his throat or something.
Stuck in his throat.
Yes, no good. Then a man in a mask appears, and she gets got.
And the screen goes black, and the opening credits start rolling.
Yep.
Oh boy, we are in for a treat. So the next day, we see 3 friends riding in the car to the cabin. Yvonne Orji's character has left them a message with directions on how to get there, and they are all excited and ready to party. And I believe her name is Lisa, says that there will be 8 of them there for the weekend. And Dwayne says, who all gonna be there? Because he's like, wait, that don't add up. I can only think of 7 of us.
Right.
And she doesn't really give him an answer, does she?
No.
But she and Allison, who's in the back seat, have this little telepathic moment in the car where they talk to each other in their heads.
Okay.
And Allison is like, girl, you should have told him.
Okay.
So we like, oh Lord.
I will say, though, Dwayne made it clear that he didn't want a specific guy there.
He said, as long as Namdi not there.
Right.
And so we all know what that means. And we go to another friend who's also on her way, but she's alone. Yeah. And she stops at a gas station on her way and runs into an old college friend. She can barely remember his name, but he says Oh, actually, the way it worked was she said, "Oh, are you coming to the cabin for the weekend?" And he says, "Yes."
Uh-huh.
So she doesn't know that he really wasn't invited.
So, yeah, no, it's tricky because it took me a minute to get to the point where I even realized that I was like, was he invited?
He was not.
So how does he know all the information? That's what I was like. How does he even know? I guess maybe he been
did
watching
his research.
Them, yeah.
Exactly. He did his research.
Right.
So I guess he knew somebody was going to stop at this gas station because otherwise, how else would he have gotten, you know?
I think he still would have got there because he could have just showed up at the cabin because he said later in the movie that, Morgan sent him an e-bike.
Oh, now Morgan's dead. You're right.
Right.
So Morgan
can't. Right. They can't ask her.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So she can't even remember his name, but they end up going to the cabin as well.
Yeah.
And then we have.
But don't leave out the scary cash register guy.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and tell us about the scary cash register guy.
Well, big one-eyed Joe. I don't know his name, but I was like, why he's so spooky looking at her down this aisle, with his one eye. So that's all. It was just very noticeable because she was like looking at him too, like what's going on with dude.
True. She was.
Okay.
So we go back to the cabin where the three friends that were in the car are just now arriving.
Yep.
And they make a joke about it being the Chainsaw Massacre cabin.
Right.
I don't like them kind of jokes.
Listen, because I'm chicken. And when I was a kid, way back in Michigan days, my little friends down the street was watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and my butt as a kid got up and went home. I ain't finished.
This ain't for me. I'm out of here.
Nope. They're wearing people's faces and stuff. That's all.
And so
go ahead.
Another friend is already there. He's talking to a park ranger or some kind of official.
Look like he's getting a ticket or something.
Right. But he's there because I think this is King, right?
Yeah, King is there. But the ranger says he's trespassing.
Right. Because King couldn't get in. With whatever code or whatever he had, he couldn't get in. So the ranger thinks he's trying to break in. And he says normally the Connors only rent to families. And Dwayne says white families.
Well, what he says is they only rent to, and he didn't get to say anything. And they said white people.
Oh, right.
And he says families. And so this one Dwayne was like white families. Right.
That's right. And so, the ranger ends up leaving because he realizes that they are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And guess who else is there? Namdi.
So they're celebrating Juneteenth, and they all got together, for that, which is cute.
It's cute.
And having a reunion. So we don't know how long it's been since they've seen each other, but they ask about Sean and Morgan, and they just assume they went out, to do something, I guess, to get ready for the weekend or however long they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, because they haven't heard from them.
Right.
And so
they got a voicemail, but yeah.
Right, but we don't know when she left. She must have left that voicemail the day before.
Yeah.
And so Dwayne is pretty rude towards Namdi, rolling his eyes and not saying hello.
Yep.
And Lisa's like, we're just friends.
That's what she's talking.
And while Dwayne is talking to her, she sticks a Molly in his mouth.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all really are besties because, listen, you can't do me like that. You can't surprise me with no drugs. Give me some Skittles or something. But,
right.
Okay.
Or some drugs that taste like Skittles. Just kidding.
Jokes, everyone. Jokes.
All right. So Allison is in the house and she sees a shadow moving under the game room door.
She didn't see it.
She didn't see it, but she had a second sense about it.
Okay.
And one thing I noticed is that there is no longer a sign on the door.
Right.
And that it's locked. Right.
Yeah.
No Yesterday it said game room door. Today it don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Lisa goes and apologizes to Dwayne and says that she should have told him that they were friends again, her and Namdi. And Dwayne is like, when y'all become friends? You know, after he cheated on you again and again and again. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she says she's over it and tells him to relax. Oh, and that's when she put the Molly in his mouth.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay. Oh. Go ahead.
So King is in the kitchen making some liquorade.
Yes.
He's made some Kool-Aid with a whole bunch of liquor that he poured in it, but he put so much sugar in there that everybody jokes about it being a picture of diabetes or whatever.
And I was like, who still make Kool-Aid?
I guess they still sell it at the store.
Right. I ain't made no Kool-Aid in so long.
And so he gives some to Namdi, and they end up having a deep discussion about life and relationships. And
Namdi catching up.
Yeah, Namdi admits he has a girl and that he's changed.
And King ain't going for it. He's like, I done heard this every 2 years since I met you. That you're a new man.
Yeah. And Namdi makes jokes about King being married to a white woman.
Yep. He said, you still a slave to the white man? And King says, y'all go stop calling my wife the white man.
And Namdi says, you're in the sunken place.
Right, because he's talking about King is talking about how he's changed and this and that. Because Namdi says, you're not a thug no more, you know, she got that thug out of you. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you ain't packing right now. And he's like, no, you know, like I've changed. Like, so he could change too.
Valerie won't get that sunken place reference, but many of you will.
Where is it from?
Get Out.
Oh, okay. Y'all, I can't tell y'all that I haven't seen it yet. I'm such a chicken. I've been scared to watch it all this time. Even though they tell me it's not so bad. It's on my list though. Okay, don't judge me. So later that night, they're playing spades. And the girls again are talking across the table.
Telepathically.
Right. And then the girls win the game. And they're accused of cheating, of course. But anyway. And they asked Dwayne if he wants to play. And he's sitting over there looking like he can't be bothered. And like, but I think it has to do with the whole Lisa Namdi thing. And so Lisa said he always gets like this. And then 20 minutes later, and then Dwayne up dancing.
So then Molly kicked in.
Okay. He was moody. And now he the life of the party. So we see Lisa sneak off. And she's looking around the house
for Namdi.
And he sneaks up on her, sneaks up behind her, scares her. Then they start kissing. And she's telling him she feels bad, you know, about Dwayne because he doesn't know they're back together.
Yeah, she should.
She should. This supposed to be your best friend. And you straight up lying to his face.
To his face.
We're just friends.
In front of the guy.
Yeah.
We just friends.
But then what the boyfriend say? What Namdi say? He talking about, oh, well, maybe you outgrew him. I said, sir, this is not your place. And that's exactly what she pretty much said. She's like, you overstepped. She says he doesn't know anything about their relationship. So
now Dwayne is over in the laundry room. Looks like he's washing clothes. And I thought, is this your first night at the cabin? What you doing? What you watching clothes? That don't make no sense. But anyway, he hears, he finds an earring on the floor. I don't know if he knows at that moment that it Morgan's earring. I think he does.
I think he does.
Because he says something about it later.
Right.
But he finds the earring, and then you hear a door creak open.
Yep.
And he looks, and it's a door to outside.
To outside.
And he's like, what? So he goes and he closes the door.
Scarily.
Yes, as he, as we all would.
Yeah, the door just pop open.
Right. And we see a shadow go by.
Right.
He doesn't see it, but we see it.
Yeah.
And so he turns around and there's a window open.
I can't stay here.
So he goes to close the window and Shanika pops up and scares him. Girl, what you doing? Outside this window?
Right. She ain't scary, okay? Because you at nighttime.
Nighttime.
In this creaky
in the woods.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre cabin. And you at the back of the house. He talking about go around to the front. So she's just brave.
And so she comes in and says, I ran into Clifton.
Yep.
And everybody is like, who? Clifton?
They're like, oh, I remember you. And they can't, he had to tell them his name. They can't place him.
And nobody says, now who invited you? Because that's a QTNA, a question that needs answers.
That's funny because they're trying to remember him. And one of them looks over at King and he like, I don't know that dude. Like just straight up. He ain't try. He like, look, I don't know him.
Right. So Lisa and Namdi come back from upstairs.
Okay.
And Shanika, the first words out of Shanika's mouth when she sees Lisa.
She hug her. Yeah.
Is, girl, you smell like
some pain.
Yeah, some pain.
And that's another word for what she said, but
And Dwayne is like, huh?
So everybody is like, pretty much the secret is out because then Namdi walk out and she said, oh, that's who you've been doing. And Clifton though. Clifton
said, I accidentally smelled some of the pain. That was so funny.
That's so funny. Clifton cracked me up in here.
So
King says,
or Dwayne finally knows. Go ahead.
Yeah, because King says, so Lisa is a new girl you were telling me about. Ooh. And then you see Dwayne because he's overheard it, but he says he isn't mad. And
we know he is.
Right. When he sees Clifton and he calls him the wrong name, but then he's like trying to blame it on he said it's the drugs.
Yeah.
Because they don't know this dude like that. That's why I was like, he's not even in the friend group. Why is he here? Yeah. Because nobody else is outside the group. They all like tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, what is it,
Shanika.
Yeah. So she's passing out drinks. And she gives one to Clifton. And why he trying to drink it out her hand? Did you see that?
He weird.
Like, he is very weird. She had to tell him to hold it. So Dwayne makes a toast.
A petty toast.
And tries to cover it in Juneteenth. But, he's like, to celebrate freedom this Juneteenth. Freedom from caring more about people than they care for themselves. Cheers to having standards and self-respect. So
Lisa.
Right? So Lisa put her drink down. She didn't drink it. I guess she not for standards and self-respect. But she knows he talk about her. So they're about to start playing spades. And Clifton asked if someone could teach him how to play. They rough. But I feel like I get it. Anybody gonna be rough if you ask them how to play. Yeah, because spades is just a rough game. Look, I don't sit around. I went to a HBCU and I did not play spades. With people at my HBCU, they be in the laundromat. I listen. Y'all not finna beat me up on those plays because I ain't good like that. I can play a little bit, but I was never, just hardcore spades player. People don't play about their spades.
Right. And so I understand where Clifton was coming from.
But King, like, we ain't got time to teach you how to play, but you can watch and you can try to learn. And so,
the lights go out.
Well, Allison tells them, I was getting to I had to skip this because I already said it. So, Allison says he has to learn from the guys. And then Namdi says, that ain't going to happen. Dog, y'all, if y'all were nicer, that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe some things would be different throughout the movie. If y'all were nicer here,
Yeah.
If you think about the ending, well, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree, but okay.
Okay. So they're about to start and the lights go out.
Yep. And someone walks by outside. The only person that sees them is Lisa.
Right. But I don't think she even got a full view because they asking her, was it the raccoon? And she like, no, it was bigger than a raccoon. But she never says it was a person.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they just start looking for a fuse box.
King said he going to find it. And what? They all went.
That's right.
Okay.
That is exactly right. And so on the way to find the fuse box, they see the game room door. And the sign is back on the door.
It's back up.
And Allison says that sign was not there before. And Lisa assumes, well, hey, Morgan and Sean must have did it.
Yep.
Now, y'all ain't seen or heard from Morgan and Sean, so you think they're around here putting signs up, but okay.
They think they, playing them, trying to scare them.
Right. So the door is unlocked.
Yep.
It was locked before when Allison tried it. And so now they all go inside.
Yep. So they go in and they find a picture of them from college on the table. And Morgan's earring. Wait, did they find Morgan's earring? Yeah, wasn't it on the floor?
Dwayne found it earlier.
So
maybe this is her other one.
Oh,
remember, one of the game pieces also looks like her earring.
Right. Okay. So I'm just putting that together that they found both of her earrings.
Okay. I didn't write that one down.
Okay. I could be wrong. But because I was like, at first, how do they know that's her earring? Why would you know that? I don't think I would know out of all your earrings if I just randomly saw one on the ground. But Allison says those were her great grandmother's earrings. And I said, them don't look like great grandmama earrings.
They didn't.
I said, who did the costume? Because they are not great grandmama earrings. Okay? Right. But so that's why they knew them, because they said she never takes them off. Which is weird too. But anyway. So they think Morgan is behind everything.
Right.
And they see the game, the Blackening, and one of them calls it Jim Crow Monopoly. So Allison started passing out the pieces, and they decide to play. But they also realize that each piece is
represents each one of them somehow.
So the crazy thing was, everybody has a piece that represents them. Clifton's piece, you remember what it was? He has a die.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I was like, is that representing him being who he is in the movie? Die. That was I was thinking
put that together.
Right. I was thinking that's what that meant, because everybody else has something more personal. King got a crown, and he had a die, and I was like, this would be some smart writing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Allison says, how do we play the game? And the game says, pick a card.
And save Morgan. And the door slams shut and locks.
And Dwayne says he's nervous, and he throws up when he gets nervous. So everybody's freaking out, and the TV comes on, and it's got that same Sambo face that's on the game, playing some old hold down music. And the video comes on of Morgan tied to a chair. So they're freaking out even more now, as they should. Yes. And the game says all of their names, then gives them instructions on how to play.
Yep. It says y'all have to get 10 questions correctly or correct before saving Morgan.
Right, or she dies.
Refuse, and she dies like Sean.
Ooh, that's right. And then they show a picture of dead Sean.
Now, this is when things get serious. For them, at least. They've been serious for Morgan.
Right. Oh, right. Morgan and Sean. Poor thing. So they all freaking out, you know.
And Clifton says we should play.
Yep. He says, I'm scared too, but if we're trying to save Morgan, we got to play the game. So they go ahead and they pick a card. And so the first question was, who's Sojourner Truth? And they had multiple choice, so they get it right.
Yep.
So then Shanika moves her piece to the next space. And King like,
move all our pieces.
I thought that was so funny because King the one that got it right. If you're going to move some, why wouldn't you move his piece? You move your piece by itself. And so question 2 was, how many seasons did Dark Aunt Viv play on The Fresh Prince?
Before Light Aunt Viv came.
Right.
I would have got this wrong.
See, I said the same thing. I was like, how many seasons? I don't know.
At least 3. Maybe 4. That's all I got.
They said 3. Right. It would definitely have to be a guess. But I don't even know how many seasons Fresh Prince got. So
right. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I watched them all, but I can't keep up with all of that now.
Yep.
And so yeah, they up there they're saying different scenes, trying to remember. Then Nikki came and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, that was a good reasoning.
Yeah, I would have been out. So the next question was, what does the NAACP stand for? And the first multiple choice answer was Negroes at Applebee's cooking pasta. Like, that's offensive.
And that is the wrong answer, everyone, if you thought that was correct.
That is incorrect. So Clifton gives the right answer. Then the next one was sing the second verse of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
That would have been it for me.
I'm out. I can't even come up with the first word. No. Now the second verse, the first verse, I might be able to do something. But I don't even know all the words exactly for the first verse. Well, we used to sing it, but again,
it's been ages.
Right. Whew. So next question is name 15 Black inventions. And so King gets those. The next one was about Nas song, and I would have definitely been out.
Yeah.
But Namdi did that math.
Oh, right.
In his head, like it was nothing.
He sure did.
I said, Namdi smart.
But I want to point out that Clifton pronounced Nas as Nas. And I feel like this is telling.
Very.
He don't know how to play spades. He don't know how to pronounce Nas.
Yeah.
And then one other thing that we didn't talk about was when they first walked into the game room, they saw a Ouija board. And Clifton said, I love Ouija boards.
That is not what we do. Sorry.
Your black card is revoked.
Right. We don't mess with them. Let the dead stay dead.
That's right.
Okay.
That's exactly
don't
right.
Don't look for me. I won't look for you.
That's exactly right.
And so the next one was name 5 Black actors that appear on Friends. And this is Amanda's show.
It's my show, and I still couldn't have got this right.
I was like, ooh, I know I don't know. But, you know, I've seen Friends because it's her show. So I've watched many episodes. But Aisha Tyler, right?
Aisha Tyler was always the first one that comes to mind because she dated one of the friends, right? So, of course, that's who you're going to come up with first.
Yeah.
And then I thought of Sherry Shepherd.
Oh,
there was a scene with Sherry Shepherd. I believe she worked with either Ross or she worked with one of them.
Okay.
And she has a moment, an unforgettable moment.
Okay.
And so she comes to mind.
Yeah.
They said Craig Robinson, and I was like, when was he on there? I don't remember him being on there. But
they threw out a lot of names considering they all said they never watched the show.
They did.
I was like, what? Where y'all getting these names from if y'all don't watch?
They did.
So,
yeah, because they got it right. They named 5.
All right.
They said they didn't watch.
All right. Oh, right. They named 5, but that wasn't the right answer. Because what the game says, he said the right answer was, I don't know. I don't watch that show. I watch Living Single.
That's right.
You can watch both.
That's a trick question.
Right.
Because they should have got it. They answered it.
They cheating. So then we go back to the TV with Morgan. And dude trying to kill her some kind of way.
He tries to scalp her.
Okay. And she got that good wig on.
She got that wig on, so he got the wig instead.
So she gets free and runs. And they're watching and yelling at the TV. I thought that was so like watching a movie.
Yep.
And they decide to get out of there. And the door is unlocked. So they all run out and try to get out, but the exit doors are locked.
To the house.
Yeah. And so the windows.
Can't get out of the house.
Right. They try to break the windows and they can't break them either.
Yep. And they also notice that their car tires are all shot up.
With arrows. It's 2024. Who's shooting with arrows?
Right.
That's a problem. So the TV comes on and they up in the living room now. And Morgan is running up the stairs. And they realize that she starts pounding on the door that she's in the basement. And so they try to open the door. They're all yelling and they start repeating the same thing, which I was funny. Like, he's right behind you. He's right behind you. You know? Yep. And so King runs off. Is this right? Yeah. King runs off to do whatever. We don't know. But he comes back with his gun and shoots the locks on the door. So the door opens slightly and they're all looking to see if and King is like, y'all see something? And Clifton said, you want to borrow my glasses?
I missed that.
Clifton is nerdy fun. Anyway. And so King opens the door up more. It's just black. And, you know, they step back looking. And next thing you know, King get hit with an arrow. And some more arrows get on. And then this big creepy dude
starts walking out.
Yep.
And Shanika tries to shut the door on him. But he sticks his foot in the door.
Yeah.
She tries to shut the door. Somebody else with her, I believe.
Well, she hitting his hands and stuff, but she finally yelled for somebody to come help her. And then somebody come. I think it's Dwayne.
And they stab him in the foot.
Yeah, she told Lisa to go get a knife. And so, yeah, they got it, stabbed in the foot and closed the door. And so when King has his arrow, I just have to give these Clifton lines because they're funny to me. King has an arrow sticking out his chest. And Clifton says, you look like King Arthur. I said, ooh, these are some nerdy jokes. Anyway, but I got a kick out of them, so. And then King pulls out the arrow and Clifton freaking out. He said, put it back in. Even trying to physically almost put it back in. But and so while all this going on, that dude comes back out and shoots King with another arrow. Namdi picks up the gun and starts shooting.
And misses every shot.
And he's holding it like to the side.
Like they do in the movies.
And Clifton reaches up and straightens his hand up. Boy, Clifton. Oh, okay. So, but he runs out of bullets and the dude disappears. So they run off again, leaving the gun on the floor, which I was like, dog, he ain't got no more bullets, maybe? I don't know. He could be out, but
I hope so.
I think I would have got the gun.
Yeah.
But so now King is asking Allison to take that new arrow out he got.
Mm-hmm. And what she do? She stabs herself.
Yeah, didn't go well.
Getting that arrow out of him. Come on now.
Okay.
You gotta be more careful.
Right. Because I was even thinking the way it looked like she was pulling up. Like it shouldn't have even went that way. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they run back into the game room. And get locked
in again. Come on, y'all.
So King passes out. And Lisa smacks him. And he said, I'm resting my eyes. And I thought, is that just something black people say?
I don't know.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, do other people say they resting their eyes? I think we got that from our mamas and stuff.
Somebody in the room says, does anybody white want to kill us?
It was Dwayne. And I was like, why would he immediately go to white?
Exactly.
Yeah, not just anybody.
Yeah.
And Lisa said potentially funny. All of them. Doggone. What you think about that O'Reilly song?
They stupid.
Right. The O'Reilly song is more culturally relevant than whatever our song is, so I can't think
Lift Every Voice and Sing?
Like, no, the national anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the black national anthem.
Oh, the regular national.
The regular national. No. Not the black one, girl.
Right.
So the game tells them to pick a card. So this card is saying what?
They must sacrifice the person they deem the blackest.
And so like they're saying too, this question is very vague because does that mean blackest can mean many things?
Skin color.
Right.
Or
skin color.
Yeah.
It can mean the way you act, you know,
right.
They say.
Yep.
That's a thing. They're going down through everybody trying to figure out who it should be.
Right. And they like, Namdi is literally from Africa.
Right.
And he like, my parents are South African, but I'm from LA.
Right. Allison, they say she Angela Rye. And so she's like, oh, okay. So now, he's like, usually
it wasn't Angela Davis? Oh, my bad.
Pretty sure it was right, but either one of those could work.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, usually my half whiteness, disqualifies me from stuff. Oh, but now you want to put me up as the blackest. And then King.
But he's married to a white woman.
They talking about him being a gangster makes him the blackest. But he said he's an ex-gangster, and now he's married to a white woman. They're like, that don't help. And
they did say that.
Right. He's like, yeah, that doesn't help.
And then they go to Dwayne.
Yeah.
And Dwayne is like, I'm in therapy.
Right. He said, black people don't go to therapy. And they're like, well, they do now. It's more, more accepted. He said, and I'm gay.
Right.
So he's like, look, y'all ain't finna, And Shanika's was, she says the N-word the most. Oh, Clifton. Allison says, you did not get invited, but you showed up anyway. And that's some black stuff.
It's funny she says that though, because didn't nobody say that before.
And that's when he says Morgan sent him an invite. Which is crazy to me because wouldn't everybody have gotten an invite?
You would think.
Why would it just be? But nobody was like, well, I didn't get an invite. So I wonder, did they all get invites?
Maybe.
And maybe he hacked it or something. Or saw it, and that's how he, So, but he says he can prove he's not the blackest, and he got plenty of evidence.
He sure do. In addition to the evidence that I have already presented.
Right. Right. Ouija board and stuff.
Right. He says he likes Jimmy Fallon without the roots.
Without the roots. Come on now. I shall proceed and continue. Anyway. Never seen Friday.
Oh yeah.
Like, who hadn't seen Friday?
Who hadn't seen Friday?
But the biggest one of all.
He voted for Trump, y'all.
Not once.
But twice.
Shanika almost took him down over that. So after all that, they picked Clifton, which is crazy because he's the opposite of the blackest. But I think they just wanted to get rid of him. Yeah, you know, out of all of them, they don't care about him.
Yep.
But they love their group, you know. So
exactly.
He's just going because he's the our man out.
Exactly right.
Yeah, he's definitely not the blackest. He says, and Clifton says, you know, the gang, that's what it wants. It wants us to turn on each other and act like animals.
And as he walks out, he accidentally, or maybe on purpose, steps on King.
No, he smacks King in the face.
Oh, he did? I thought he stepped on him.
He smacked him in the face.
And right before he walked out the door, he says, all lives matter. Right. Oh, Clifton did have some good lines.
He did. Right. I'm going to say, you know, even though we know Clifton is the odd man out and not the good guy, he has some good lines.
Mm-hmm. So Clifton walks out the door and it locks behind him.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they were like having second thoughts or anything, they can't even save him because they can't get out the room. And then the TV turns back on and they see him outside get shot with an arrow and fall to the ground.
Mm-hmm. And
the murderer comes and drags him away.
Yep.
And someone says, well, he did vote for Trump.
Right,
twice.
She like, well, look. That's what you deserve.
Right. And so now they have to play a new game.
Well, the game, yeah, right, because the game said they got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because Clifton didn't vote.
Right.
Which is not fair.
And they have 3 minutes of safety in order to survive or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
They fight over whether to run or not. And Shanika says they need weapons.
Yeah.
And so they start this little bit of banter about Clue, the game.
Oh, well, what happened was Lisa ran out with a candlestick.
Right.
And that's when Dwayne was like, what you think this is, Clue?
Right. So that was a cute little throwback.
Yeah. If you know Clue. If you don't know Clue, you would have missed it, I guess.
That's true. Y'all know Clue, right?
Yeah, so we played all the board games, so.
Sure did. And so Dwayne says he's gonna stay because he's high.
Right.
He like,
And so, but they also, the weapons they got, so Shanika, she gives Allison some chili powder. And Allison like, what do I do with this, cook? So she had that, and Shanika was like, well, we all out of knives. So they had various, like, non-weapon weapons.
Yep.
To use to fight against the crazies.
Yep. So after Dwayne says he'll stay, Lisa says she's gonna stay too. And of course Namdi gonna stay where Lisa at, so he decides to stay.
But hold up,
Allison before
they decide to split up, you know, King asked for some painkillers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we see that it's Adderall and not painkillers. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to mention that because that's
Allison took some.
Allison took some. And so that's how we find out she's on
Adderall.
And there's a note that comes on the screen telling us what Adderall does to you. And it says the side effects are increased motor activity and mental alertness. Because I would have no idea what Adderall does.
Oh, okay. It's for ADHD.
So I don't know. So
yeah.
Okay, all right. Go back to the them getting out.
Yeah, so Allison, she can't hardly get the words out her mouth.
About to throw up.
Like, oh, I think we need to. I think we need to split up. Because we all know.
We don't split up.
We don't split up.
That's what Nam
See, they all went looking for the fuse together. We don't split up.
We are one.
But this time, they split up.
I get it, because if you have a group and some just, they too scared really to go outside, and they thinking they too high and they're not going to be able to function.
Yeah.
And the other group is like, well, we got to go out to try to save the day, because if we stay here. So I understand it, because you can't make people move.
Right.
It's not, that's not normally what we would do. Because Namdi even says that was her white side talking. He thought that was her white side talking. We gonna stick together.
Right.
But they split up.
And the girls have this little moment where they sing a little, not sing, but they say the lyrics to a song.
Yeah, the guys in on it too.
And say, "You are my sister, my strength, and my pride." What song is that?
Only God. Wait. I know it's I Will Survive. Did you get that? It goes to I Will Survive? And I thought that was so clever, because they out here from take off, separating, but they're trying to survive.
Okay.
You remember that part of it? Okay, you're going to make me try to sing.
No, we don't need all that.
That's not my part. We'll have to look up the lyrics. But yeah, there's a lyric that says, I will survive. I thought that's again, good writing, But if you don't know these things, you're not going to pick it up. But I don't even think I picked it up first time I watched it.
So are you saying that the lyrics, because this is I just looked it up.
Yeah.
These lyrics are from a song that Brandy sang on the Set It Off soundtrack. Called Missing You.
Okay.
And so
did they say I Will Survive? Because isn't it who sang this song? It's not Shaka Khan, it's Gladys Knight?
Brandy.
But who sang with her?
Oh yeah, Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan.
I know this song.
But it doesn't say anything about surviving. It says, "Only God may know why, still I will get by."
Oh, get by? Oh, maybe I messed that lyric up in my head.
Oh, shoot. I couldn't remember the song. I knew it was a soundtrack.
Whose soundtrack?
Set It Off.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. That was the jam. But I just thought they said I would survive. I would get by?
Yes.
How about that?
According to the
So my whole smart, good writing was off. But it's still good from Set It Off. Because all of them were going to get, Set It Off. Anyway.
Back to the Blackening.
So they hug and split up.
Yep.
And so back at the house, Lisa decides she's going into the basement to look for Morgan.
Nope.
And Namdi and Dwayne, they behind her. Dwayne gotta get Namdi to go. He's like, look now. He's nudging him to go. He's like, shoot, that's your woman. So they reluctantly follow her down to the basement. And so then they switch to outside, and Allison and Shanika and King walking. Yep. And Allison like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna sit here and, and she high. That's why.
Right.
So they go back to the basement, and we
wait.
Another
funny moment.
Okay.
When she says she wants to sit down, it was either Shanika or King. I can't remember. But they point to her shirt and they said,
"Oh yeah,
would Rosa Parks sit down?" That's exactly what she would do.
That's exactly what.
Oh man, that was too funny.
So then we get back to the basement, and they're down there, and they see the chair that Morgan was in, a bloody streak on the floor, the well, and then they see all of these like videos. TVs. Just showing, pictures from all around the house. So they got cameras all over the house.
Yep. Back outside, they get to a lake.
Yep.
And Shanika says she'll swim across and send help.
Yes. Shanika and King get to the lake. They lost Allison.
Allison sat down.
But they were like, "Where's Allison?" Like they didn't know she sat down.
And she said she was sitting down. And they should have paid attention.
Right. So Shanika says she finna swim across. And King like, okay. He says he can't swim.
Yeah.
And she like, how you gonna be one of them stereotypical? Well, it's a lot of us that can't swim, so
ain't that the truth?
I can swim, but I'm not the best swimmer, so I wouldn't be swimming across the lake. I know that much.
Right.
But she even says they won't suspect it because they think most of us can't swim. And so she helps him climb up a tree. He thought he could do it on his own. Like, oh yeah,
been
no
shot
problem.
Twice.
Yeah. And running from the cops and stuff like that. And so you done got old. And not only that, you I don't think he took the Adderall, I was gonna say, but
he injured.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You got shot with an arrow twice. So back at the house, they run outside and run into the ranger.
And they don't trust him.
Not at all, as they shouldn't.
He says he's one of the good ones. And you know what else he says? He says, you know how I'm one of the good ones? Even if I was invited to a cookout, I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Because then all the black people wouldn't feel comfortable to be who they
Right.
Who they are. And I said, you're doing too much, sir.
I don't know what good answer. That's what Lisa was saying.
And so he tries to call for help. And his name is White.
Right! That was too funny. White. He was saying it.
Yep, because he had to keep saying it because the signal was blocked. And so the messages weren't going through. So he tells them to get in the car and we'll just go for help.
I do want to say this one piece. So before that, it's because they tell him 2 of their friends are dead. And he's like, well, where are the rest of your friends? And they said, we split up. And he said, but you're black. And they were like, whoa, you get a little too comfortable. But that was so funny to me because they had just went through that whole thing of Allison saying it. And now him saying it is an issue, you know?
Yep. And so they get in the car. And he is just about to get in the car too. And he hears something in the bushes. And he goes to investigate.
Of course. And tell me I'll be right back. And they of course are like, no. Right. And Dwayne says, why white people always going somewhere they shouldn't go? I said, exactly. Y'all in the car.
In the car, headed to safety.
Y'all could have just made it. But no. He could at least get y'all the keys. Something.
Yep. Sure could have.
And back at the lake, Shanika, she's swimming. She's swimming across the lake. And the dude shows up. The villain. I don't know what to call him. But he shows up and starts shooting arrows at her.
What she say? Stop it.
Right.
Okay, that's going to work.
Right. And so King, he jumped down out the tree to, protect her, save her. And they fighting. And King realized dude can't fight. And so King, he kicking his butt for a minute. And then he catch a cramp.
He catch one of them diabetes cramps they were talking about.
I didn't know if you were going to catch that. Because that's what Namdi said. He said, if you drinking that stuff, you catch a cramp.
Before this movie, I don't think I had ever heard of a sugar or diabetes cramp. I don't know where they got that from, but it happened.
That's funny. It could be an athlete thing of having too much sugar cramping up while you active. I don't know. But I realized, and I know I didn't pick that up first time. But this time I was like, oh, he said earlier he was going to get a cramp.
He sure did.
And it came to be the pass. So then dude get the upper hand.
Killer gets the upper hand and stabs him in the leg.
Yep.
Stabs King in the leg. King then got 3 arrows.
3. Because that's even the same. Oh, I think it's later. When Namdi says you should be dead. Yeah, it's later. So then here comes Allison.
Allison was sitting in that tree somewhere, and she done got some magical powers, some ninja skills.
I might need some Adderall.
She goes full Rambo. I don't know where she got them 3 pins or...
They were arrows.
Oh, okay. She got the 3 arrows and put them in between her fingers, kind of like a Wolverine
Looking
situation.
like Wolverine, yep.
And she stabbed him to death. And so she did that.
She told that dude.
Yep. And so they said, well, let's figure out who this is. Take the mask off.
Yeah.
And Shanika has swam back by this point.
Yeah.
And she realizes it's the guy from the corner store, the creepy guy that was looking at her
when
she found Clifton at the corner store.
Yep.
And he has an inhaler in his pocket.
Girl. That was too funny.
That's where all the heavy breathing came from.
That's why he breathing like that.
And he has the address of the cabin that they're staying in written down.
And so it's funny to me because these lines, them saying them lines like that, like straight seriousness, you know, make it even more funny. Because King ain't joking around. He's like, that's why he breathing like that. Dude got asthma. So is that how Jason and Michael Myers?
Hey, it might be.
They got asthma. But Shanika realizes that the boots are not the same as
right,
because there's no stab hole. Yeah. And the boot. She said, unless they got costume changes. Yeah.
So back in the Ranger's car, they find one of the masks that the killer has been wearing.
Right. And did you realize it was like a blackface mask? I heard somebody say that in the movie, and I was like, I didn't put that together.
I didn't either.
Okay.
So they immediately start trying to get out the car.
Yep.
But arrows start flying towards it.
Well.
And the Ranger walks back up to the car, and they won't let him in.
So the arrows didn't start till after the Ranger got there. Because when he got there, he's talking about, let me in. Let me in. You know, you can trust me. And they pull up the mask and show it to him.
I think when they were trying to get out of the car, the arrows started coming to keep them in the car.
I don't think so. And I say that because remember they were pushing the locks and stuff, and they couldn't get out because they kept, you know, canceling each other out, pushing them locks and stuff.
I have to go back and watch.
So when the Ranger comes up, he's trying to get in. They won't let him in because they're scared. And then the arrow fly through because that's when he get hit.
That's when he gets hit. Yes, I agree with you there. They said maybe we should have trusted him.
Right.
Yep. Maybe
too late now.
And so they get out of the car, and the arrows are still flying, so they don't really know what to do.
Yeah. And
Dwayne tells them to save themselves. And when they leave, he says he was just joking.
Okay. Look, there's no time for jokes, though.
That's true.
Better be serious. Look.
That's right.
Because what they do, laugh you.
They save themselves.
Okay.
Exactly as he said.
So after they save themselves, Lisa and Namdi, they hide in a vent in the house.
Now, what kind of vent is this?
It's huge for one.
It's huge.
For a house vent.
Yes.
And then I was like, how in the world they get up in there?
Thank you, that too.
That's my question. Like, okay, how y'all get in this vent? So then the villain, he comes up the stairs
and walks by the vent.
Yeah, he's looking for them, but some music starts playing
because the electricity came back on.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe Dwayne put it on. Oh, the electricity came back on. Okay, I missed that.
And so he walks away.
Yeah, he going to see
what's going on,
playing this music or what. Yeah.
And so next thing we know, Dwayne finds them in the vent.
He pop up and scare them, and I'm like, how he know they were in the vent?
Right. And he says, y'all know I ain't mean it.
Right.
So
said y'all left me to die.
Right. And he climbs up in the vent with him.
Right. Now he said, you told us to leave you. And Lisa says, I told you he was. Oh, Lisa just said, I told you, like, he wasn't serious to Namdi.
Oh, okay.
And Dwayne like, you didn't have to follow him. What you think? I mean, they in this vent, supposed to be high. They just talking away.
They too loud. Mm-hmm. I wrote that down. They way too loud.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in there, they're trying to figure out when to come out. Yeah, doing all this talking. Lisa apologizes for leaving him and says, it's not every day you have to make life or death decisions. And Dwayne was like, oh, it's good to know that when it comes to me, the choice is death. Dwayne got some good lines too in here. So she tells him, look, you got an attitude, get it off your chest. And Nandi like, it can wait. And he's right. This is not the time, nor the place.
Right, because while they're doing all this arguing in this vent, the killer unblocks the signal.
Yep.
And all of their phones start going off, letting the killer know they up in this vent. And so he walks over to the vent and starts stabbing up into it.
Yeah, so I think he had to go under. So I don't know what room he went in, but he went under and started shooting them arrows up or stabbing it up, like she said.
But he was still standing like in front of the vent.
Not at the time.
Because Dwayne got so spooked or nervous or scared that he puked in his face.
I think it came after though, because there's a wall. How can he stab up through the wall and through the vent?
That's just, movies. They mess things up sometimes.
I think he was under them. I could be wrong again. But yes, what you're saying is true.
It don't all have to make sense.
That's true, but I need it to make sense. Okay. And so, right, dude is in front of the vent looking up at them now.
Yep.
And like Dwayne said, he gets nervous.
When he gets nervous, he pukes.
Yep.
And he did just that.
Ew.
In the killer's face.
Oh,
yuck.
Over him. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So they get down.
Because the killer fell down the stairs.
Right.
Because that's what happens when you get puke in your face.
Okay. I probably fall down the stairs too. Please don't ever let me get puked on. And so Lisa tries to hit him with her candlestick, but she hit the ceiling instead. And he kicked her so hard.
She went flying.
Yes. I don't know if I can recover.
Right.
Oof, don't kick me. Okay.
But this killer can fight.
Yeah, he can fight better than that other dude, even though, And so Dwayne got the arrow thing from him when he fell. And then here come Namdi beating dude up.
Yep.
And so Dwayne trying to figure out how to use the arrow deal. And he gets a shot off and shoots dude in the face, but dude got his hand up too, so it goes in his hand first.
Yeah.
And then face.
Yeah. And so they start arguing while dude is on the floor and they ain't paying attention.
But Dwayne says, I'm going to jail.
And the killer starts getting up. And out the blue, Shanika shoots him with another arrow. And then and Lisa beats him to death.
Ooh.
While going through this rant about black women having to do
everything, always saving everybody. Yep.
So while she ranting and raving, she hitting him and beating him to death because she is tired.
Okay.
And everybody else is just watching in shock because they like, what in the world?
We got in there. Right.
And so she and Dwayne, after she kills the guy, she and Dwayne make up.
Yeah.
And
she got bits all over her.
He says, you got guts all over your face when she tries to give him a hug.
He like,
And he like, oh, that's disgusting, girl.
Yeah.
And so Namdi gives her a kiss, but also starts this weird giggling because he's kissing her while she's got guts all over her face.
He's disgusted.
Ew.
He's disgusted.
Right.
But he loved her, so he trying to, you know.
Right. And so they decide to check the ID of this twin or this killer. And that's when they realize that the two killers are twins. Now, mind you, they have to check his ID because his face is no longer recognizable.
So
Lisa tore him up.
Yeah, ain't no more face.
Ugh.
And so that's a good point, though, because that could be somebody else's ID for all they know. I didn't think of that because his face gone.
That's true.
But I was like, what kind of killer carry their ID around?
That's true.
Why are you killing people with your driver's license in your pocket?
Podunk killers. They don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Because they find a note, a killer's ransom in his pocket.
Yeah.
And it's got each of their initials on it and how much they were paid to kill each person. $100 per person.
$100.
As Dwayne would say, or as Dwayne did say, that's offensive.
He did. He said that's all we're worth. And I mean, who even doing this? Like you said, some hold on. Because why would you agree to this for $100?
And it's 8 of them, so that's $800 for you to kill
for
8.
2 of y'all? You can deliver.
All right, y'all gotta split it.
Y'all split it. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Something ain't adding up. I guess he was a cash register at the gas station, but still.
I guess. So a few of them go downstairs to call for help because they like, we saw all that equipment down there. Let's go see if we can use it to call for help.
Yeah.
And when they get down there, Clifton and the ranger are both slumped over at a table.
Right.
And so, they're dead.
Yeah.
They saw them both get killed. They don't pay attention to them necessarily while King and Allison are upstairs keeping watch.
Right.
They do find a note in Clifton's pocket, right?
Yeah, or stuck on him, something, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was taped on them so it would get their attention. And there's an article of the night he was arrested, the night of a party when they were all in college. And a video starts playing showing what he did or what the killers did with Morgan and Sean's bodies.
Right.
And then
he jumps
comes
up.
Back to life.
Yep. Clifton ain't dead after all.
He is not dead. He says, I got explosives. Drop your weapons. And then he locks them inside.
Yeah, because Allison, upstairs, King is like, since they keep locking these doors, we need to keep them open so they can't lock them. And Allison's she was just at the basement door and it locks. So they stuck like Chuck.
Right. In this basement with this man that's supposed to be dead.
Right. So he tells them they got to play a game. He likes games.
Right.
And I think Lisa had asked him why, he was doing all of this. Yeah, so that was the first question. Why am I doing this? And then she answers and says, okay, it has to do with the article.
Yep.
And question 2 was, what else happened that night? And one of them answered the Juneteenth party where he got drunk and wanted to play spades. And he tells them, he was just so happy to be around people that look like him. And he started going through them. I wasn't the best dancer like Dwayne or the funniest like Shanika or the best cheater like Nandi. Ouch. So he loves games, but he could never get a handle on spades because nobody plays spades in Vermont. So that explains a lot about what we were talking about earlier about him not being the blackest.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's from Vermont.
Right.
I don't
How
know
many black people live in Vermont?
I don't know. I don't know one person, black person. I don't know one person, period, from Vermont, though. But, But he says he reneged in the game and they wouldn't let it go and attacked him about his blackness.
Yep. He said it was an honest mistake.
Right.
And Lisa said, at least we didn't revoke your black card. He said, you did. That was your exact words.
Right. And Lisa said, yeah, that's right.
Right. She's like, that sounds about right.
Right.
And so he tells them that he left after that.
But he drank for the first time that night.
Right. And he was so drunk that he killed a woman.
Yeah.
He ran over a woman and served 4 years.
4 years.
Because he wasn't black enough for them. And I thought all he served was 4 years? That's
really? For a car accident? Oh, but he's drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised actually. People murder people on purpose and get that sometimes. You know?
I guess. And I thought, ooh, that's it?
I think maybe that's what they were saying too, because one dude was like, oh, that's grad school. That's not like grad school. But
I was shocked by
4 years sound long to me. If it was me doing it. So Allison gets the TV working upstairs, and so they see what's going on with Clifton too. Because they thought he was dead, you know. And so Clifton says he thought the redneck twins could do the job, but he's gonna have to finish it and kill them all. And he tells them, then throw you in the well. Like I did your friends.
Right. He says he thought maybe they changed.
See? Remember earlier when I was saying if they had been nice, like when he was asking about playing spades this time, maybe he would have gave him a chance. Because this right here, when he says, I thought maybe y'all had changed, I'm thinking maybe he would have, changed his mind about his plans.
Yeah.
If they had been nice to him this time. So, but anyway.
I guess. And he said, I'm not black enough. That's why y'all sent me out to die. And they said no, because you voted for Trump.
Right. Because he says, right, that he thought maybe they changed until they sent him out to die.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm thinking even up to that point, maybe he would have gave him a chance if they had been nice. I don't
know. And so Lisa and Dwayne start having a telepathic moment, trying to come up with a strategy to get Clifton. And then Namdi and Dwayne start having a telepathic moment too, a conversation. And Dwayne tells Namdi to basically rush Clifton, basically.
Yeah. And
they look at Clifton, and Clifton heard everything.
Right. And Dwayne like, did you hear
that?
Yep. Like, yes. And so their plans are foiled.
Right.
And so, the next, I guess, question from Clifton is he wants them to pick who is the blackest. And that person is going to be the one to die. And so he asks Lisa, and she chooses herself.
Right.
And he's mad about that because he's like, that's not the instructions. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pick somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but since she picked herself, he went on and tried to shoot her. And Namdi jumps in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Namdi
he gets shot. Yep. He gets shot for his boo. And upstairs, Allison gets the lights to go out because she found a little, I guess, remote or something that the other guy had, that the killer had, that was locking the doors and stuff. And so when the lights go out, Dwayne attacks Clifton.
Mm-hmm. Go on, Dwayne.
Right. And Clifton fighting. And Clifton says, time out. That was too funny to me. Clifton calling time out.
They done killed everybody.
Right.
Shanika has a crossbow.
Right.
I don't know where she got it from, but she got it.
Yes.
But it's so dark she can't tell which one to shoot at.
Right.
So she tells Dwayne to say something gay. And Dwayne says, I am so offended.
Right.
And she shoots Clifton.
Exactly.
She already knew.
She
just
knew.
from that little comment.
Okay.
And so she shoots Clifton and they throw him down the well.
Yeah, Dwayne takes that chili powder and puts it in his nose. And he fell off in the well.
Laughing maniacally.
Yeah, cuckoo crazy.
Right.
And then Dwayne talking about, I guess he's not doing too well.
He did say that.
Little corny jokes. So next we see is the morning time, and they outside trying to figure out what to do next. And Dwayne says, call the cops.
And they all start cracking up.
Right. Because they don't want to get shot. They mentioned that, how can we get help without getting shot? Right. And so they call the fire department.
And what does the fire department do?
Hit them with that hose.
Right.
So that's it. Then roll credits.
Roll credits. All right, y'all. Now that we've wrapped up our recap of the Blackening, it's time to give our ratings. We rate these movies 1 to 5 buckets of popcorn, with 5 being the best, 1 being the worst movie we've ever seen in our entire lives. Valerie, what do you give the Blackening?
I am giving the Blackening 4 buckets of popcorn because I think it's a great movie. I think it's really good, really well done. They got some great jokes, corny jokes. They got great lines, characters that you really like. I love Dwayne. I even like Clifton because of the lines he gives.
Right.
He's just like this true nerdy dude. Oh, but very funny. And I think, they just had some good writing. The villain and all of that stuff, being twins was pretty, it was something you didn't expect. You didn't expect it to be 2.
Yeah.
So I like a little surprise, a little twist. Even the jokes with the drug jokes and stuff, they weren't like overdone or, I didn't think so anyway. Sometimes some of them high movies or whatever can be a little over the top. I mean, Allison's character, when she's doing all the fighting and stuff, maybe a little, but it was still, pretty good to me. So I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was scary. It had jumps, but then it was hilarious at the same time, so that's my kind of movie too. You get the scary, but the lightness and the lightheartedness and the jokes, they tame, the scariness, so it's not too bad for people like me. But yeah, I'm giving it 4 buckets. I think all the actors were great. Nobody, stood out like, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would actually give it 5 buckets. Okay, that's what we're doing now.
I threw that in there. I got excited for 5.
I really can't say anything bad about this movie. And for that reason alone, I think it deserves a 5. It's hilarious. It is a little bit scary. The cast is great. They had great chemistry.
Yeah.
They had great delivery with these, lines. Like even Valerie said, some of the lines they just said casually. Like with the asthma.
Right.
Maybe that's why he was breathing so hard. Like things like that. They just, delivered those lines so well. I really enjoy this movie. I think this is something that I could watch over and over again and still find some funnies, and probably pick up on some things that I didn't catch the first time. Because Valerie definitely showed me a few things that I hadn't caught before, and I've seen this at least 3 or 4 times already.
Okay.
And so, I just really thought this was a great movie, especially for a cast that's not even
well known.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't an all-star cast. We did have Yvonne Orji and Jay Farrow in there, but they weren't the main characters.
Right.
And so even for that, I think, yeah, this is a 5-star.
Can I bump my rating up?
I think you should, but that's up to you.
Let me go. I'm gonna bump it to a 4.5. Okay.
Okay.
Because I think you brought out some good points, and I think you're right. I don't have any flaws for the movie either. Mm-hmm. It's really great. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Awesome. I think it's yeah. Yep. Now, that's the first, y'all, that I bumped up my rating during the actual, But she's right on some things. It's really well done.
Really well done.
Make sure if y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. Add it to your watch list. It's a great film.
Yes.
Anything else for the people today?
That's it.
All right. As always, you guys, thanks for listening. Like and follow, subscribe. Join us every Tuesday for new episodes.
Check out our social medias on Instagram and TikTok at Sisters at the Cinema.
Yes. And this wraps up our October Fright Fest, you guys. So thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.